Right, you snivelling little box of tricks. Don't you effing let me down again. Well, it's already too late. You know that, don't you? I've already sent for your replacement, you little bastard. So it's your own bloody fault. Three times you've shafted me. Not 3 times since I've had you shafted me, but 3 times. Since the first week of August. So it's your own fucking fault, isn't it? Treacherous little sod. Why are you nearly stopping? Look, are you turning off? I don't mind people pulling off to the side of the road or turning off, but get on with it. Don't come to an almost standstill, half on the road and half off of it. Right, if you look out over there, you won't be able to see it. I can barely see it. Literally just in the mist, but we shall go out there in the not too distant future. That's the main dip transmission mast. About, I want to say 16 miles away as the crow flies. Anyway, let's turn to today's events. This is a very short Mudford loop. After this treacherous box of bloody fuses shafted me again yesterday and decided it was going to record without the external mic. It was going to record through the media mod. So I'm out again today to go back over what I was on about yesterday. And when I get an opportune moment, I will stop and we can go through it. Or I might just cut that entire waffle and just start when I stop. I don't like yours much. Fucking hell. Okay, so what am I waffling about? The old Alpha Rider. Well, I thought, as I've got places to go later in the year, it might help out on the old motorway. So I thought for £6 something, it's worth a punt. So I tried it out yesterday when this thing ripped me off, and it was alright. It's one of those things that's got to grow on you, and you've got to get used to it. So I'll keep reporting back on that. And the other thing, I don't know if you can see them, but the old RST trousers, and giving them a whirl as well. Here's your trousers. Yeah, I'll flip that over in post. I'll get me in post. Again, with the intent of things to do and places to be later in the year, I was definitely going to want some warm, waterproof trousers. And RST make good stuff. I've got their boots on. Now I might get a matching jacket for these, I don't know. It's just a case of justifying another 190 quid when I've got a £200 jacket on. It's just that the colours don't quite match today, but so that was the main point of coming out yesterday and again today. So, so while we're on the subject of GoPro shafting me, we can discuss another purchase I made yesterday afternoon in a fit of rage, and that was a DJI OSMO ACTION 4. I mean, to be fair, DJI make good cameras, or should I say they make good camera equipment but small form. So their drone line, for example, I mean, that little Mini 3 I've got, very good. The Spark I had was pretty good. So it'll be interesting to see what the Osmo 4 is like. It's got a 1/1.3 sensor, which is bit bigger than the GoPro's 1/1.7. And one of the features that I really do like about the Action Osmo Action series is it's got a magnetic fixing instead of all of this thumb screw nonsense. Because I have to use the media mod anytime I want to change the battery. Thumb screw, pain in the ass. I want to get the SD card out, I've got to take it off of here. It's a pain. So it'll be interesting to see what it's like with a magnetic mount. Now it has got two little clips that lock in as well. It's not just a magnet. But I mean, that alone could be a game changer. I mean, the battery times are very, very good. 4K, I think 4K 60 real world usage time, so not claimed, 112 minutes. And again, it's got another feature which could be very useful. I think Ian Hughes has found it useful, and that you can just talk to it. Start recording, stop recording. You know, that could be quite helpful if it works properly. So in other news, how am I finding the Transalp so far? Well, bloody marvellous. If I get the first service under the belt, I can then maybe give the engine a bit of a workout and see how it compares to the Hornet. Now the keen-eyed among you might notice that this is the route to work, and you'd be dead right. Only, like a small child being called in for tea, it seemed a bit too soon to be going home, so I thought I'd go an even longer way round. It's not a problem, is it? I mean, I keep mentioning it, I keep mentioning it, and my memory doesn't allow me to recall how often it's actually made it through the editing process. But I really like the fact that I can come down this road, for example, especially at the top there, and go over all the bumps without my neck popping out of socket and my shoulders breaking. There's quite a lot to be said for that, and of course it goes without saying, given that the Hornet, for example, is a completely different geometry to this, and suspension and the whole lot. But I don't care. I'm just telling you how nice it is to not have to suffer from that now. Now then, this is the first bike I've ever owned in which you measure the chain slack above the swing arm. And it's just as well I'd read my, or flicked through my owner's manual in order to get the figure for adjustment. And another good reason for coming the long way round, the very long way round, see if I can see any deer. Nope. Is I just need saddle time, really. Again, with places to go and things to do later in the year. I don't want to have to stop every 45 minutes because my backside hurts. Now it's just starting now, which isn't very long at all, is it? So the only way to alleviate that problem is to just get used to it. Because I'll tell you what, that ride home from Toaster the other week didn't half hurt my ass. And because I just wanted to get home, I didn't want to have to keep stopping all the time. And because I didn't recognise much of the way home, I'll re-qualify that. So I was convinced the sat-nav had brought me back a different way, because after a certain point I didn't recognise certain sections of it, and I thought, well, why is it taking me all the way down to the back end arse of Andover to join the 303? Because I had assumed it was taking me a different way. And so I didn't stop anywhere because I was constantly on the lookout, because I was going to stop at the same place on the way there, on the way home, that I had on the way up at Newbury Services. Only I never spotted them. So that was another reason for me just pressing on to the next one, It wasn't until I think the following day, when I just checked the route again on Google Maps, that I realised that it had brought me back the way that I'd gone up. And what I hadn't realised was that Newbury Services was asymmetrical. I.e., there wasn't one on both sides of the road. So as it was, I only stopped. This is a rambling load of nonsense, isn't it? Good God. All I'm trying to say is my ass hurts too soon. Oh, nice. Right on the corner, look. Just what you want. So shall I try and re-encapsulate this one into something more palatable, into something more digestible? I need to work on my saddle time in an attempt to become less inclined for my ass to be fatigued. Because on the way back from Toaster, because I didn't stop, because I didn't recognise the route it was bringing me home, even though it was the same in fact route, I kept pressing on to the next stop, kept going, maybe it's the next one. And then I got to a point where I thought, well, I'm not stopping in some tuppy 8 garage forecourt. I want some proper services. And where did I end up stopping? Yeah, Tuppence 8 forecourt. Anyway, so I don't know if comfort is gonna be a thing on the Transalp. Time will tell. I'm sure it's me rather than it, because I found the W800 the same. It took me a while to break that in, but again, there's something else we can discover together. Isn't that nice? Chances, you predatory bastard. Why, hello. I'm just testing my well, two things really. I might splice this into something, I might not, I don't know. I've lowered the gain level on the sound level for the Osmo to see if this level's working. It's all fun and games, isn't it, swapping cameras. So, God, look at that filthy fucking diesel. Sorry, look at that filthy flipping diesel. Disgusting. Anyway, so I've lowered my gain level. I'll see how that is, and you may be able to see it. Tyre pressure monitoring sensors. See, I'm a bit annoyed that the effing traffic warden came round just as I was leaving. So although I wasn't planning to be long, I definitely can't be long now, can I? I've got 20 minutes. Well, about 18 now. And knowing that prick, he will be back in 19 minutes and 30 seconds, and he will effing stand there. Mind you, if I was a traffic warden, I'd be a spiteful prick as well, I suspect. job with no respect.